Derek Coyne was a medic on the team, and I was trying to walk, but I was leaning up against the GMV kind of at the same time. And I remember him, running up. It was blurry, and he said, "I'm coming, Mikey." And then he said,
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you got injured the same day as the Red Wing incident. So what actually happened?
Well, not that same day, just same trip.
Okay, I got you.
Same trip. So after about 2 months, they basically said, "All right, no more CRIF or whatever you want to call it." Mm-hmm. So many names, they change it all the time. So we went up to Firebase Cobra, which became Tinsley.
Yeah.
It was from a 7th group team leader that got killed there, rotation or 2 later. And we were going to meet, I think it was, 2-1, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-1 was up there. So we got our marching orders, went up there, started building part of the fire base there with the other team there. And it was the year of the elections. So we were supposed to go with this guy that was a UN guy who used to be in the British para unit. And we were going to go take him up to one of the polling sites to inspect it. And that was the day that I got blown up that morning.
Now, can you talk through the actual incident? Like, were you guys patrolling? Were you guys engaged?
No, we were mounted. And if anybody knows anything about a ruse gun, you got to be mounted to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's always historically been a heavily IED, place in that area. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I think we left out about sunrise, and then I remember we had to stop. We were waiting for a partner force. I think it was the A&A were coming to us. Well, we were there for 2 hours just waiting. Looking back on it now, it was just a sit up. They were laying the IED in, and I was the first truck in the order of movement. It was me, my team leader, Sam Robbins, Brian Hotchkiss was on the gun, and then I had a CA major, which I've always wanted to find a CA major, and just talk to him because he's the only guy I've never talked to. Mm-hmm. I've actually tried to search him out and ask some CA people, hey, who is this guy? Because I'd like to meet him. You know what I'm saying?
What's his name?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, hopefully somebody out here watched this. Yeah, and they'll be able to put you in link.
Yeah, but we were just and we had one of the Terps with us, and we were just traveling up beside the riverbed. And next thing I know, after the 2 hour stop, the next thing I know is just, I can't even describe the noise. It was so loud, it's deafening at the same time. If that makes sense. And then as soon as it went off, the first thing in my mind was like, please God, don't let me die. Because I knew exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I knew it was an IED. I remember I wasn't wearing my helmet. I was wearing my iPro. I don't think I had my Peltors on. I remember just being kind of almost like an out-of-body experience, being tossed about in the vehicle. It's kind of like slow-mo, and then the vehicle come to rest, and because I was just being tossed all about in it, and I smelled this smell of explosive, and then I could see, but my vision was very blurred, but I could see just this thick gray smoke billowing up from the middle of the vehicle, and you could just taste it in your mouth. That smoke was so thick, it's almost like you could cut it with a knife. And I couldn't get my thoughts together. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't and I was trying to see, but I couldn't see. It was almost like double, quadruple vision. Everything was just blurry. And I was thinking to myself, because I thought about Rob Mogus and those guys, the vehicle burnt. I was like, I gotta get out of this vehicle before maybe it's on fire or something. So I got the fish for the door handle that opened somehow, and then I knew my right leg felt like numb, like it just felt numb. I couldn't feel it. I knew there was something wrong with it, and I was just thinking, I was like, please God, let my leg still be there. Let my leg still be there. So I got out. I kind of stood up, but kind of basically leaning up against the back of the GMV, and I looked down and I saw my boot, and I was like, all right, thank you, Lord, thank you. But I couldn't really walk. My vision was still like really blurred. All I could see was green where the cornfield was at and everything. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I wasn't even thinking about any gunfire or anything.
Yeah.
It's just because you can't think.
Yeah.
So I see Derek Coyne was a medic on the team, and I was trying to walk, but I was leaning up against the GMV kind of at the same time. And I remember him, running up. It was blurry. And he said, I'm coming, Mikey. And then he said, he was like, what can I do? And I said, I was like, get this body armor off him. He was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I had to just, I went to Sephardic before that trip, and I fell in love with the Paraclete body armor.
Yeah.
So I actually bought me a Paraclete body armor set before that trip, and I pulled the quick release on it. He laid me down. He just started to go to work on me, and first thing he did was I think he put my body armor down, and I laid on it, and that CA major, he come up. He was like, "What can I do?" He's like, "Hey man, just sit there and talk to him." So he kind of like, there's actually a picture. He's like, I'm laying down, and he's kind of laid down beside me, and he's kind of like got his arm around me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember Derek, he put 4 fentanyl lollipops in my mouth, right? And I start crunching on him. And he was like, "You're not supposed to crunch them. Stop it." I was like, "Well, how the hell am I supposed to know? I've never been blown up." So it's kind of fun. You have this kind of a chuckle in the midst of a serious situation. And I remember my team sergeant, come up to me, guys, like, "Hey, Mike, hey, just hang on 30 more minutes. The medevac will be here." So. I'm just waiting, kind of, for it to come. And then about 30 minutes pass by, and a guy comes up to me. He's like, "Mikey," he was like, "You got to wait 30 more minutes, man." Because see, there was no medevac rings back then. There was a bird there before, but it had left like the month prior, I think, there at TK. So there was no that golden hour set up really everywhere. So it had to come all the way from Kandahar. And you got to wait for the Apaches to warm up, so you have the armed escort. So it took like an hour to get there, and then an hour back.
Oh wow!
All right, yeah. So he put a tourniquet around my leg. Well, he didn't know my right leg was broke, because it was broke. My right eye was blown out of socket. It was actually, I remember like touching it because it was like out to here. It was like on a avulsion. It was protruding. And I was like, "Derek," I was like, "Give me some water." He's like, because he asked me what I could do. I was like, "Give me some water so I can wash out my eyes," because that gunk was still in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I used the water to get it out of my eyes, and then I was like, "Derek," I was kind of touching. I was like, "Derek, there's something wrong with my eye." He was looking at me. I could tell by the way he was looking at me that something was wrong. And he was like, "Stop touching it." I was like, "Well, there's something." I was like, "Something's wrong." He's like, "Stop touching it." So I stopped touching it, and then he put the tourniquet on my leg right away, and every time he cranked on my tourniquet, I'd scream out in bloody murder, man. It hurt so bad. I can't even describe the pain, but because the leg was broken. But when my when my femur broke, it cut my femoral artery, so I was bleeding out from the get go, and my left lung was partially collapsed. So he's trying to tighten it so that, you know, it stops bleeding. But every time he turns that tourniquet, I'm screaming, you know, and I'm begging. I was like, Derek, please don't loosen it. He just looked at me. He said, Mikey, I can't. He's like, I can't do it. But it just, they put, and I found out one time when I did my testimony at church afterwards, Jeff Doherty, he's like, Mike, he's like, we didn't just have one tourniquet on your leg. He's like, your legs are so big, we had to have 4 tourniquets on your leg.
Yeah.
And he's like, we still couldn't stop the bleeding. But there was, I guess they caught the guy. There was a command detonated. He was out in the riverbed. They called him. They pucked some other guys. And that guy was, every time I'd scream out in pain, he'd laugh. And one of the guys, he did it, and he rolled up to him, and then he started beating little daylights out of him.
Yeah.
You know, he pulled him off of him. But as I remember when I was laying there, Brian, I remember his pants were torn all the way from like his crotch all the way down, and he was bending over. He's like, you know, grimacing in pain. He'd get up, follow the wire, follow the wire. He'd bend over in pain. He'd like, follow the wire, follow the wire. And I remember the A&A, they grabbed the wire and they, you know, got it, traced it out, and the guy was just still laying out there.
Yeah.
And they pucked him.
Yeah.
But and I remember he come up, my team started, you know, after about 30, 40 minutes, he was like, Mike, you know, 30 more minutes. And I thought I was dead. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I was scared. And I told Derek, I was like, tell Paul all over, you know, my wife at the time. But yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
Yeah.
And then I could hear the birds coming, and I could see the Apache circling, and I could hear the medevac landing in the riverbed, and Sam's put in there, you know, my team leader's in there, and I get put in there. I think the Turp was in there too. But I remember the battalion surgeon, I asked him, I was like, how long was the flight? He said about 60 minutes. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm dead. You know?
Now you're thinking this as you're
I'm thinking, I was like, there's no way I'm making it. I'm not making it, you know. And he's putting some Versed in my line. You know, they know it's like a mind eraser. Because I was still awake, I guess, but I don't remember nothing.
Yeah.
You know, because they said I was, they said when I got to the flight line, I guess I was in a lot of pain, and some guys were talking to me, but I don't remember none of that. Once he put that, you know, the last thing I remember was just grabbing Sam's hand and just holding it until in Germany I heard, "Hey baby, I'm here to take you home," because they flew my wife over to Germany, because they didn't think I was gonna make it. Yeah. I guess I had used up all the blood in Kandahar. Some guys had to come in and give blood, because I had used so much of it up. Yeah. In fact, I was in the hospital one time, about a year afterwards maybe. I was having a surgery for something. I had my shirt off, and the nurse recognized me by my tattoos. And she's like, when did you get hurt? When did you get blown up? I was like, July 31st, 2005. She was like, oh my God. She's like, I can't believe you're alive. I was like, what? She's like, I worked on you. Yeah. She was like, there's this other guy that would love to come talk to you and see you, because he sat by your bed till they took you. I was like, yeah, because, you know, I mean, you want to talk to somebody, just, you know what happened, because like I said, you don't remember all that stuff. I was in a drug-induced coma for 3 days. Yeah. You know, and he come out there and see me. He's like, man, I can't believe you're alive. He's like, they couldn't stop the bleeding. He's like, they almost amputated your leg there in Kandahar. He's like, you're just leaking like a sieve. Because they did they took one of the Safford's veins. I can't remember what it's called, but to basically patch, you know, the artery, femoral artery that was ruptured. You know,
the entire episode will air tomorrow, Saturday, on my new YouTube channel, Beyond The Beret. Make sure you like and subscribe to Beyond The Beret so you don't miss the entire podcast.